Hello and welcome back to From the Bookshelf for another weekly download. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, but I'm back. I'm not going to be doing all the ones that I've read in the break that I've had on the channel, because that would be like an hour-long episode if I were to do that. I'm also going to shorten my descriptions a little bit, just kind of give you the rating 1 out of 10, as well as if I think you should read it and who I think the audience is kind of would like it more, that kind of thing. Just maybe shorten it just a little bit. So I don't have any of the books here with me. I'd already put them away and I didn't want to search for them, as well as a lot of them are at the library as well. It's a lot easier to get books at the library these days rather than paying for them. So let's get started with the most recent book I read, which was Support and Defend. It is a Jack Ryan book. It's one of the first few that were written, not by Tom Clancy, it was after he passed. So this one was written by Mark Greaney. I gave this book, I have kind of two different ratings on this one. For the story itself, it's a great story. I loved it. It was entertaining. I read it in 2 days. Okay, it's a 500-page book. I read it in 2 days. Like, it was really good. And so just on that and on the story, I give it an 8 out of 10. However, there were some aspects at the end of the book that I didn't really like that kind of made the main character, Dominic, not very likable for me. And I would have to give it a 6 out of 10 because of that as well. So the story itself, 8 out of 10. Because of some of the character stuff, I gave it a 6 out of 10 as well. If you like Jack Ryan, you'll definitely love this book because it's definitely really, really good. Then next, I read Revolutionary Russia by Orlando Figg. If you've been watching my download videos, then you know I've read a lot of these books by this author. They are nonfiction about Russian history. This one is from the time period between 1891 to 1991, kind of like the rise and fall of the USSR and communism within Russia. This is actually really good. It's one of the better ones that I've read from this author about Russian history. I think it kind of kept my interest the most. Definitely gave it an 8 out of 10. If you love history, read it. And then I've been reading a series called Deathgate Cycle. I just recently read book 3, Fire Sea. These are really good. I've read the first 5 once before. However, I haven't finished the series, so I decided to start over and reread. So I'm on book 3 now, and I'll continue on. This one I gave a 7 out of 10. The first and second one I gave a 9 and an 8. Respectively. It's an amazing series. It's fantasy. If you love fantasy and just books in general, you should read this series. The first one is Dragon Ship. It is by Margaret Weiss and Terry Hickman. And yep, definitely want to read these. They're that good. I read another one of the Shade of Vampire books by Bella Forrest. This one is book number 24. It's called A Bridge of Stars. It's the last one in Ben and Rivers' series, because she kind of has like series, like 8 or so books per like set of characters that tells their story. So this one was actually one of the better ones in that series. There was a time there where between like maybe 15 and 20 where they were just kind of filler and they weren't really the best, but this one was actually really good. I really enjoyed this one, and I actually am looking forward to the new book and the new series within the Shade of Vampire world. So I gave this one an 8 out of 10. If you love vampires, teen books, romance, that kind of stuff, and it's definitely worth a read. So I read more of the Rogue Angel series, ghost written with the name Alex Archer. I'm not sure who wrote these two. I read The Vanishing Tribe and Clockwork Doomsday. The Vanishing Tribe, they were both really good. The Vanishing Tribe I gave a 7 out of 10. Clockwork Doomsday I gave an 8 out of 10. Once again, I think I liked the second one a little bit more, mostly because it has Garen Braden in it, who's like one of my favorite characters. He's not in all of them, but the ones he's in I seem to like a little bit more. I don't know if it's just because the authors who write about them are the ones I like in particular or what, but if you like contemporary sci-fi, action, adventure, archaeology, and stuff like that, they're definitely a fun read. So let me just scroll up a little bit. So I also read Heartless, which is book 4 in the Parasol Protectorate by Gail Carriger. This series is a steampunk series set in the 1800s, London. It's really good. I love it. It's supernatural. It's got adventure, strong female lead who's really doesn't put up with anybody's BS, right? She's great. And this one is just as fun. There's one more book in this series, and then there's some spin-off series that I will be getting into as well. Give this one a 9 out of 10. The one before that was a little bit lower on my scale. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10 just because of some of the storyline. Not that it wasn't good. It's a great series as a whole, and you have to read them. Soulless is the first one. Definite read for anybody. I also recently read Eyes for Innocent in the Alphabet mystery series by Sue Grafton. I've been rereading those. I think this one was one I hadn't read before. I gave it an 8 out of 10. They're really good. I love her mystery books, and super sad that the alphabet ends with X because she fortunately passed away before being able to do Z, which would have been the last one in the series, which is super sad, but I'm excited to keep reading and see what happens next with Kinsey and all of that. So mystery, suspense, lots of stuff. She's a PI, and she's a great female character. And then I read A Perfect Match by Jay Minter. This is one of those book series that I started reading when I was in high school, and now I'm like finishing it. I didn't quite finish it. It's actually a spin-off of the Insider series. This one is The Inside Girl, and it's actually entertaining. I mean, it's definitely dated based on things that are going on and happening, based on like when I was in high school rather than today. Like a lot of the stuff the teenagers did then, they probably wouldn't do if it was, current. This was, I think, was written in the early 2000s, at the same time as like Gossip Girl when that originally came out and that kind of thing. But it's still entertaining and it's fun. Teenagers who like Gossip Girl and stuff like that will love these books. This one, Perfect Match, I gave a 7 out of 10. I think I liked the Insider ones better with the boys. And this is the little sister of one of the main characters of the first series, but she's still fun and I love this series. I think there's one more left before I'm officially finished with them. And then finally, I read Swing Voter of Staten Island by Arthur Niergian. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If there's another way to pronounce it, let me know. He's an interesting writer. He's definitely a little more serious and philosophical. This is the first book in a series that he has. It was the 5 Books of Moses series. I actually just recently got the rest of them because the first and second book were printed separately. But then if you want all 5 of them, you finish them more recently and you have to buy them in this like huge, super heavy hardback. So I just recently got that off Amazon. So I'm super excited to keep reading this series and find out what happens. I think this is one of the better ones that I've read of his that I liked. So I gave this one a 9 out of 10. It's kind of set in like a different, like not really distant because it's dated, but it's like a different future. Like say if things had gone differently in the 70s and 80s, it would have led to like this future, like New York being recreated in Nevada, and it's crazy, but it's fun. It's lots of adventure, there's action, and you really have to read it. It's hard to describe. 9 out of 10. It's a great one. One of the better ones that he's written that I've read. So I'm still reading through a lot of his other stuff as well as this series. So we'll let you know how it continues. So that's it for this episode of my weekly download. If I've inspired you to read anything, go ahead and let me know. Use the hashtag #OffTheBookShelf, and I will check those out. If you have any recommendations on what I should read, go ahead and post those down in the comments below. I'd love to get new books to read. Always looking for the next great book. Also, if you have any book suggestions for my book club series as well, go ahead and leave those as well. I'd love to know what you'd like to see on those videos. All right, so until next time.